Car was a 2012 Honda Accord. It wasn't a beauty. It had been sitting in my driveway since December, gathering a thick coat of pollen and neighborhood dust. It was a monument to my own procrastination. Every time I looked at it, I felt that low-level hum of anxiety, the "I'll get to it eventually" stress that we all carry. Then came the knock. He called himself Marcus. He looked ordinary, maybe too ordinary. Clean-cut, polite, mid-40s. He said he'd seen the car from the street and was looking for a reliable project for his son. He didn't haggle much. In fact, he was eager. He offered me $3,500, cash. My internal alarm should have gone off then. Nobody offers top dollar for a car that hasn't moved in 6 months without even checking the transmission fluid. But I was tired, and the money was real. We went to the bank, my choice, and the teller confirmed the bills were legitimate. I signed the title over, handed him the keys, and felt a wave of relief. Finally, the monument to my laziness was gone. Or so I thought. Part 2. The delay. "I'll be back Tuesday at 3:15, Marcus said, flashing a smile that didn't quite reach his eyes. "Just need to get the insurance and DMV paperwork squared away. Don't want to drive it dirty, you know?" I nodded. It made sense, sort of. Tuesday at 3:15 came and went. The Honda sat there, mocking me. I called the number he gave me. Ring, ring, voicemail. Wednesday. The silence was louder. I tried the number again. "The person you are trying to reach is not available." The phone was off. That's when the relatability of the situation shifted into paranoia. I started looking at the car differently. Why would a man pay thousands of dollars and then vanish? Was he dead? Arrested? Or was I currently an involuntary participant in something illegal? By Thursday, I couldn't take it. I felt powerless in my own home. I felt like a mule for whatever ghost Marcus was running from. I remembered he'd left a folder in his haste, or maybe on purpose, with an address. I knew the area. It was sketchy, is a polite way to put it. It was the kind of neighborhood where the streetlights stay broken and people don't look you in the eye. I drove over there. I didn't get out of the car. I saw the house, overgrown lawn, boarded windows, and then I saw it. A black SUV parked 2 houses down with 2 men inside watching that house. They weren't cops. They had that jagged, hungry look of people waiting for a payday. I drove back home, my heart hammering against my ribs like a trapped bird. I realized then, Marcus didn't want the car. He wanted the location of the car. He needed a clean suburban driveway to store something until the heat died down. I got home, grabbed the spare key I'd forgotten to give him, and I did what I should have done on Monday. I searched the car. I tore out the floor mats. Nothing. I checked under the seats. Nothing. Then I pulled the liner out of the trunk near the spare tire well. There was a magnetic GPS tracker tucked into the frame, and tucked inside the hollow of the rear bumper, a heavy, vacuum-sealed package. I didn't need to open it to know it was the kind of thing that gets people killed. Marcus hadn't bought a car. He'd bought a locker, and he'd used my reputation, my safe neighborhood, and my house as his shield. I felt a surge of cold fury. This man had come to my home, met my dog, seen where I sleep, and decided I was the perfect idiot to take the fall if those men in the SUV ever caught up to him. He underestimated me. He thought my politeness was weakness. I had 2 choices. Call the police and hope Marcus didn't come back seeking his property before they arrived, or I could play the game. I chose the latter. Part 5. The execution. I removed the package. I replaced it with something of equal weight. Bags of driveway salt I had in the garage, wrapped tightly in duct tape to mimic the shape. Then I took the GPS tracker. I didn't throw it away. I knew those guys in the SUV were likely tracking Marcus, or Marcus was tracking the car. I drove to the sketchiest, most high-security police impound lot in the city, the one where they take the seized vehicles from major busts. I waited for a tow truck to pull out, and I discreetly tossed that magnetic tracker onto the back of a flatbed carrying a mangled drug runner's SUV. Now, anyone looking for the loot would be led directly to a fortified police lot. Then I went home and waited. I left the car unlocked. Friday, 3:15 p.m. Like a clockwork ghost, Marcus appeared. No phone call, no apology, just a man walking up my driveway with a set of plates and a screwdriver. "Sorry about the delay," he said, his voice smooth as oil. "Family emergency." I stood on my porch, sipping a coffee, watching him. "No worries, Marcus. I was starting to think you'd moved in." He laughed, a short, dismissive sound. He went straight to the back of the car. He didn't even check the oil like I'd suggested. He spent about 30 seconds fumbling near the rear bumper. I saw his shoulders stiffen. He reached deeper. He felt the duct-taped bags of salt. He froze. He looked back at me, his face turning a sickly shade of gray. The polite mask was gone. His eyes were wide, darting toward the street, expecting the men from the SUV or the police. "Something wrong?" I asked, my voice terrifyingly calm. I gotta go," he stammered. He scrambled into the driver's seat and peeled out of my driveway so fast he left rubber on the asphalt. He thinks the package is gone. He thinks the other guys got to it. He's currently driving a car that he officially registered in his name, headed toward whatever paranoid fate awaits him, while the other guys are currently tracking a GPS signal that leads directly into the heart of a police evidence locker. As for the package, it's currently at the bottom of a very deep, very cold lake, along with any evidence that it was ever on my property. Marcus paid me $3,500 to give him a heart attack and a life of looking over his shoulder. Justice isn't always about the police. Sometimes it's just about making sure the bad guy loses more than you do. They say no good deed goes unpunished, but I prefer a different version. No bad deed goes unreturned. Marcus thought he could use a stranger's life as a pawn in his game. He forgot that even a pawn can take a king if you play the board right. Sleep well, Marcus. I know I will. If that ending sent a shiver down your spine, hit that like button and let us know in the comments. Have you ever realized you were being used in someone else's scheme? How did you handle it? Don't forget to subscribe for more stories of justice, revenge, and the shadows of the internet.